This felt like an international break, isn't it? Since the last time we watched West Ham play, it's been a little while, and I'm really looking forward to it. West Ham versus Brentford, of course, Premier League, at London Stadium. And I think it's fair to say, probably the first game since Graham Potter came in that's got pressure added to it now. That there's a feeling of West Ham need a result now. When you look at that league table, I'm not talking about relegation. West Ham won't go down. I'm confident of that, and I'm not trying to say that in an arrogant way. I just feel like that we're too good to be going down. The gap's too big, so I'm not concerned. I've got to be honest in that regard. But it's more the fact that you look at that league table now. We really need to start getting some points, and as much as the performances have been better, I feel like this is the first time where there's a bit of pressure now to go and get 3 points. I feel like a defeat, especially with Arsenal up next away, a defeat or a draw just won't cut it now. We need 3 points. It's a big game. Before we go into West Ham, though, we'll talk about Brentford first, actually. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. It takes 2 seconds to do so. It's free, and we really appreciate it. Also, you may be someone that regularly watches the channel, but you just don't realise you're not subscribed yet. So if you could subscribe, we do appreciate it. And also hit that like button because it does help us attract a new audience. So we really appreciate it. Before we go into West Ham and talk about Brentford, I mean, they're not in the best of form, I'm going to be honest. I look at their last 6 games, only 2 wins in that, 3 defeats and a draw. They've not been in great form. Of course, lost last time out to Spurs at home, 2-0. So wasn't a result that, to be honest, I was expecting. I thought that Brentford would be beating Spurs, to be honest, with the form that they're in. So, yeah, I don't think it's actually a bad time to be playing Brentford. And I get the feeling with them that they tail off a little bit towards the end of the season. They always tend to have a bit of a time in the season when they just sort of tail away. I don't know. I wouldn't call it on the beach kind of stuff. I think that's a bit much, but you know what I mean. I feel like that once they've established their Premier League status, which they pretty much are. I have like West Ham now. They're pretty comfortable. But like most teams, isn't it? I think it's the bottom 4 now that are going to be sort of vying it to try and survive. I think 2 of them are already gone. So I just get the feeling that they can't. That the intensity that you see from Brentford early in the season just seems to sort of just slightly dip towards the end. So I feel that's probably what we're seeing. But I'll take nothing away. I from Brentford, I'm really impressed with them as a football club. They're remarkable, really, when you consider the size of that club, where they've come from, and the fact that they are now an established Premier League side. It's pretty stunning, really. They've done really, really well. It does remind me a lot of sort of Brighton, esque that strategy that they've gone into. A little bit like Bournemouth as well. They're a team, a club that seems very aligned with their thinking of what they want to do, the style of football they want, the type of players they want, the infrastructure of the club. It all feels very much a aligned approach in terms of all the personnel at the club. They all know what they want, and you can see that with Brentford. It feels like that, and they've got a good manager in Thomas Frank. I mean, he's not my choice of manager, to be honest. If it was a West Ham, we're going to go for another manager. Let's just say we're in the market now. As much as Frankie's a big name, he's done well, and I do think he deserves a bigger club at some stage. Now, there's no disrespect to Brentford, by the way. I think he should stay there. I'm not saying, but if he was to move on to a bigger club, you look at him and think, yeah, that manager, he has done very well and possibly would warrant that kind of move. I do sometimes find his style a little bit, just a bit too pragmatic, a little bit for me at times. But I can't. I'm not having a knock at Brentford. I think they're a great club, and we know all too well how difficult they are to beat. We've always struggled against them since they've been in the Premier League. They're a good club. As I say, they are very much now in the bracket of established Premier League sides, and by that I mean when you think of next season, they're not a club that you look at and go, "Oh, I think Brentford struggle to stay up this season." I thought, you can imagine them in a scrap to stay, being a relegation fight. I just never think that of them now. They're a club that I think, no, they will be comfortable mid-table. If not, if anything, they might even be pushing for European football. That's the only thing I would say. And it might be Brentford fans watching this that might correct me on this, and I hope maybe I'm completely wrong, but it's almost not as if they've hit a ceiling, but it's like I do question sometimes their desire to kick on a little bit. That's the only thing I would say. Like I've mentioned, like they sort of tail off a little bit in the season. I get the impression at the moment they're quite happy to remain just as a Premier League club. We want to stay up, keep the Premier League finances going, and keep trying to push and improve. I'm not knocking that, by the way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. but I don't see like a real like we are going to get top six. We're going to do everything we can to get there, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I've not seen that kind of desire from them to go that sort of far, but that could possibly change. But they're a great club. They've done very very well. Great manager for them who's done remarkably well, really. And they've got some great players. I mean, Buemo. I mean, I was looking at his stats this season: 14 goals. I mean, it's unbelievable. You got Visa as well, doing 11 goals. And they've got goals in this team. They're a good side. Very very strong, difficult to play, home and away. And yeah, I've got nothing but good things to say about Brentford. Really, I'm in for a tough game. I just hope that we've caught them at that, as I say, this time of the season when maybe they're not really fighting for much. You saw that in the FA Cup, didn't we? When they went out, was it Plymouth knocked them out? It doesn't feel like they've got much to fight now. I think they're quite happy to say, look, we're just going to fight out see the season out, try and finish as high as we can. A bit like us at the moment, but yeah, so probably not a bad time though to be playing Brentford, because I feel like their mission this season was to stay in the Premier League, establish, keep comfortably stay in the Premier League as well. And I feel like they're more on course, well on course, sorry, to do that. So I just feel like hopefully, in terms of West Ham's perspective here, we're going to go into this game playing a team that's not really fighting for too much, and we might be able to take advantage of that situation. Let's talk about West Ham, as we should be in a West Ham channel. In team news, obviously no Nicholas Fulkrug's out. Mikel Antonio is out. By the way, just seen a picture of Mikel Antonio in Dubai, and it was taken, I think, possibly today. I think it might have been today because it was, yeah, because possibly so. But there's a picture of him. He's looking really well. You can see he's been working out in the gym. He looks good. It's great to see it. Really, really pleased. I put it up on my X or Twitter page. You know, if you haven't seen it, have a little look. It's great. Really good picture of him. So obviously, but he is out, of course, with Fulkrug and Somerville as well. Graham Potter talked about Somerville in his press conference and said that he'll be likely to be back after the international break, which I think will be in April, beginning of April. So there's quite a way to go. Yeah, it's a real shame because I'll tell you what, he's a player I really want to see play under Potter. We got a little bit of a taste of it, didn't we, in his first game against Aston Villa. Then obviously went off injured, but it was I think in terms of a pair in there, in terms of a manager and a player, I think that could work really well, Potter and someone like Somerville. I think that's going to be really good for us. So can't wait to have him back, to be honest. So a bit of a blow, we're not going to have him, but we do have some players back for this game. My word, we've got Lucas Paqueta back in contention. Well, we'll say contention in the squad, as is Edson Alvarez, as is Jean-Claire Todibo. However, with regards to Todibo, the manager, head coach, I'm going to call him manager or the boss, whatever, he turned around and said that it's unlikely he'll start at the moment. He's not quite there yet, but he will be available. So we possibly will see Todibo. I'll just be not sure if he's going to start. And I'm going to sort of reflect that when I do the team, what I sort of want to see. And also, of course, we've got a debut for Evan Ferguson. I'm sure he will be playing again. He did reflect on Ferguson and saying that possibly not 90 minutes. It's unlikely he's going to be available for that length of time, just purely because he hasn't played much first-team football in recent months. So he's got to be a little bit careful how we manage him. But we will see Ferguson play, I'm sure, whether it be at the start of the game or towards the end. And obviously, James Ward-Prowse back in the squad, and I expect to see him not necessarily play. I'm not sure yet, but I think he'll be possibly be on the bench and possibly come on at some point. We'll see. But great to have Ward-Prowse back. I never really got the decision from old Loppy as to why he got rid of him and sent him out on loan to Forest. Absolutely bizarre decision. But there you go. This is a big game. I really do think this is a big game. And I'll tell you why. Because it's one of those where if we win, and I mean win, you know, not a scrappy, crappy win where we just about get over the line. I want to see if West Ham go into this game and really come away with a good performance and a comfortable victory, I just feel like it would really lift us now for the final period of this season. We've got Arsenal coming up next weekend, and we want to go into that game full of spirit, up for it, and this is going to be the catalyst for that. Because that's going to be obviously a very tough game. And it's one that we're going to really want to go and disrupt things in terms of the title race. So I really want us to go into it full of confidence. So it's a big, big game in that regard. Also, if you think of the other side of it, if we were to lose this game, and then you've got Arsenal away, which is on paper, you know, we're expected to probably come away with nothing. That'd be 2 defeats, let's say. And all of a sudden, although I've just said about I'm not worried about relegation, and I stand by that, but it would increase the pressure. I think the mood would drop. This is a big game. This is a really big game, and it's one of them, like, it's all well and good as keep saying God, we're playing so much better. The team are looking so much better, and the players are enjoying things, etc., etc. That's great, and I'm absolutely thrilled with that. And it is very, very good to see the impact that Potter's having at the club. I'm thrilled with him, really. I've got to be honest, but this is that game now where I'm like, I want to see a result now. I want 3 points. I want a good win because we haven't really had that yet. We've had good performances, great performances so far under Potter. The last time out against Chelsea, I thought we were excellent against Chelsea. I thought we were really unlucky to come away with nothing. So this is that game now where I just want us to stop. No more feeling sorry for ourselves. No more what could have been. This is just go and get a result. And as I say, we're playing a team here that aren't in good form. They're not really fighting for much. This is and we're at home. And on top of that, of course, we're fresh. We've had a couple of weeks break. The players have had a long weekend off. These players are going into this game now really freshen up for this. So there really is no excuse for me. I want to see a really good performance, which I'm expecting, but it's the result as well. I want those 3 points and a decent scoreline as well. It'd be really good, especially as we've got Arsenal next. It'd be great, wouldn't it, to go into that game with our towels up and thinking we're going to cause you a lot of problems here. So it's a big game in that regard. A couple of players I want to mention, of course, Jared Bowen having Bowen back has been such a big boost, isn't it? He is outstanding. I mean, he was excellent against Chelsea. He's like he's never been away. He's unbelievable. We are so privileged to have him at our football club. He's a stunning player, Bowen, and he just seems to be getting better and better. Every time I watch him play, I think, God, you're actually improving pretty much, I mean, you notice it sort of season on season, but even like as the weeks go on, as I say, when he came back from that injury against Chelsea, I had back in my mind thinking he's been out for a while. He's probably going to be a bit rusty, a bit worried if he's going to get injuries going to reoccur or something like that. But my word, it's like he missed a beat. You know what I mean? He is on the forefront. Lovely finish with his goal. Yeah, really impressed with him and Lucas Paqueta. I mean, he's had a lot going on, Lucas Paqueta, hasn't he? He really has. And obviously, the updates this week haven't been brilliant in terms of what's been going on in Brazil and in terms of looking into his betting allegation stuff. It doesn't look great, but he's come out with some really good words about Graham Potter. Another player to add to the list talking about communication. They get the message, it's clear. The players, the understanding now amongst the team, they understand their roles and what they're supposed to be doing. And obviously a little bit of a dig there at Lopetegui, but it's also just great to see that Paqueta is responding well to the changes at West Ham and really responding well to Potter. And we've seen him how much better he's performing. It's great, and I really hope we can continue that. And the fact he's come out and said all these words makes me feel like he is going to park what's going on aside again and just keep going. So I'm really looking forward to this game, and we've got some serious quality on the pitch in this match, and I'm really excited to see how we play, and the fact that we've had a couple of weeks on the training ground as well with Potter and his system that he wants to adopt, which we can see the players are responding to so well. I'm just really excited now to see that with the players that we've got back. I think it's going to be a good occasion. Right, this is my team. This is my team, and my score prediction. Really want to know what you think. Let me know if you're not happy with my team, what you would do different, etc., etc. And also let me know your scores. Really want to know what the mood is like and how we're all feeling. Because I don't know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good actually about this game. I've got to be honest. Right, so this is my team. I've got Alphonse Areola in goal. I don't think that needs to change. Although I still think that a goalkeeper is needed this summer. I think it's a key position actually for West Ham to get sorted out. I'm still. I'm keeping Areola in his goal. I think he's pulled a couple of good saves, and although I'm still not thrilled with him at times. I think his distribution is very questionable. There's a few parts of his game I'm not thrilled with. However, I feel that it's in a position we need to upgrade on. But for this game, definitely. So this is I'm going to do a back three and then do the wing backs. Okay, so I'm adopting Potter's typical formation here. So the back three, by the way, I'm doing this because I'm assuming that Todibo is not going to be available to start. If Todibo is available, I want him starting in this position. But if he's not, then I'm going to put Mavropanos in. It makes me anxious, but he's not that bad. He's got errors in him, hasn't he, Mavropanos? The only thing that makes me feel a bit anxious when he plays, and I worry what that does to Kilman. I don't feel like he feels comfortable with Mavropanos there because he's so unpredictable at times, the things he does. But that being said, I'm still going to give him a go in this game. I'm going to go with Mavropanos, as I say, unless Todibo is available, then I put Todibo in. Mavropanos, Kilman, and Creswell as my back three. I've actually been okay with Creswell. I think, although he's getting on a bit now, and I do worry about his pace and certain aspects, but I actually think as a back three and with that protection of the wing back as well, I think he suits him okay. I've got no real problem with this, so I'm going to go with Mavropanos, Kilman, and Creswell as my back three. My wing backs are going to be on the right hand side, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who I think has been outstanding in that role. I think he can play either in Mavropanos as well. So there was that temptation as well to put Wan-Bissaka back as the centre right, and then have him Vladimir Sufau as the right wing back. But I've really been impressed with him on that wing. I think he causes so many problems for the opposition. So yeah, I want to see it continue. On the left hand side, I'm putting Ollie Scholes in. I'm so impressed with Scholes. He's a stunning player. He really is, considering his age. I want to see him start making this his position now. And I feel like because we're not really in danger of going down, and I know people will message on this. I know there's going to be comments in there going, "What are you talking about? We can still get relegated." I know mathematically we can still get relegated, okay? But you look at the games we've got left and the points we need to accumulate. I'm not worried. I really am not. I'm the way we've been playing as well. I'm more than confident to think that we're going to finish away from the relegation zone. In fact, I'm pretty confident we're going to probably finish around, I think, lowest 12th, maybe 13th, possibly worst case. But I don't think we're going to be right down by the bottom, to be honest. Yeah, and I just feel like this is the time now when you're in that position where you're not under huge amounts of pressure in terms of results. You need results. I just feel like this is the time now. Get your young lad in, keep him playing, and make that position his. Because I think he's been better than Emerson. I understand Emerson's been a decent player for us. He has at times, and I just so impressed with Scholes, the energy he brings as well. Emerson at times, I just feel like he's very hit and miss. I'm not quite sure what you're going to get. I've not been that thrilled with him. So yeah, Ollie Scholes for me as the left wing back. My sort of centre midfield pairing, more defensive mindsets are going to be Edson Alvarez alongside Thomas Souček. And then on the right side of midfield, so the front three, like the diamond, it will be Bowen out on the right, Paqueta on the left side of that, and up front will be Evan Ferguson. I want to see Evan Ferguson playing. I want to see him in this team starting. I really do. I appreciate he might come on off the bench. I do understand that, but I want to see him playing. We've got this guy in, be our striker. I'm excited to see him. I'm really excited. I really hope we're going to see the fact he knows Potter really well as well. Understand his systems, knows what's wanted of him. I just feel like we might be onto something here for the rest of this season. If we can keep him fit, this could be something really special. So yeah, really excited for this one. And also, I'll tell you what, it means we've got a really strong bench. As you see, I've dropped Mohamed Kudus, obviously sort of the big one, but you've got some big players in there. You've got Carlos Soler in there as well. You've got Vladimir Sufau, Fabianski. It's a strong bench. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the academy lads now, whether they're going to be sort of pushed aside, which I can understand that happens. I really hope it doesn't. I really hope we can find a spot, sort of like, for Lewis Orford or Caelan Casey, someone like that to come into the squad, because we do really want to make sure that our academy boys are getting time. But I appreciate it's a little bit difficult, especially now with people coming back from injury. But we'll wait and see. So I'm confident. I'm feeling really confident for this game. I've been looking forward to it for, ages, really. It feels like bloody ages, doesn't it, since we last played? So can't wait. Back at home, and I feel like this is the opportunity now to really sort of send the right message and to get everyone that lift just as we go into play Arsenal. The last handful of games, well, handful, there's quite a few games to go, but give us that. I want to finish the season on a high, and I get the feeling this is the catalyst game. If we can really get going on this, get a good performance, a good result, I just feel like the confidence levels will be so high, and it will just give everyone that lift, and we can sort of go into the rest of the season feeling positive about things. So yeah, I think we're going to win, and I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham. Let me know what your thoughts are. I really want to hear what you think in terms of the team for a start, and also your all-important score predictions. But this is going to be a big game for us. I'm really excited, as I've said. And let's hope we can get a big performance and a decent result, because we're going to need it. We're going to need it. We've got some tough games coming up, and especially ahead of Arsenal. I keep mentioning it, but we've got to get a result ahead of them, because I want to go into that game and seriously disrupt things over there. So let's wait and see how we get on. Come on, you Irons.